Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mountain Harmony Gardening. I'm going to be giving you another garden tour today. It is the end of September, and I want to show you what the garden looks like. Okay guys, we are going to start our tour with the front bed that we cleaned up probably a little bit over a month ago now. And as you can see, the bluebells are starting to come back. They really love this cool weather. And they are coming back in full. And they'll stay like this until it snows. And then during the spring, they'll come back up again and they will have their pretty blue flowers, which I will show you then. Now this area looks a little bit different because I cut down the bleeding heart and it is no longer there. And I cut down my second bleeding heart all the way to the ground. And I trimmed up the coral bell, got rid of all the dead flowers. And the dead bush is gone. Donnie went ahead and just ripped it right out of the ground. So next spring, I'm going to be digging this whole area up and I am going to be replacing the dirt like I told you about in the last video. Okay. And as you can see on the lawn, the leaves are starting to turn and they're starting to fall. And these huckleberries I planted up here as an experiment weren't doing real great until it started cooling off. And now they have huckleberries on them. My poor forsythia looks the same. Really, really eaten by the root weevils. I'm debating taking it out completely in the spring and replacing it with something else. Tell me what you guys think and any suggestions as to what I could plant there. There's another bluebell and the iris, and the ground cover is doing well, as well as my pine tree. Now here the ground cover still looks the same, except for all the fall leaves in it. This area still stays pretty much the same. The lawn still looks pretty bare, but our water has shut off now, so there's not much we can do about it this time of year. And you can see that the columbine still looks good. And these guys are done flowering. The lemon balm is still being eaten. And this columbine looks really good. So about the same. Now the raspberries, I'm going to be cutting down here soon. I am waiting for the orb weaver that's living in them to vacate completely. He's still got a web back there, but I haven't seen him in a few days. So I'm making sure that he is completely gone before I cut them down because he was huge. And I will be showing him in a short video this week. And then the comfrey plant, starting to look a little sad. And it's gone to seed. Then here's the iris bed, about the same. And my poor little liatris just keeps getting eaten by the bugs. I think I'm going to take it out too. It didn't even get a chance to flower this year. So now I'm going to walk over to the Japanese garden and look at the crab apples. They are beautiful right now. Starting to turn red. And this tree is already starting to lose its leaves. I've even seen the squirrels in here eating some of the crab apples. That is just so pretty. I really love it. And you can see more of the yellow leaves. And I just leave them in these flower beds because it just turns to mulch. And my clematis is looking very sad this time of year. Okay. Another thing I'm going to be doing here soon is my Lucifer plant is pretty much dead. I will be cutting it down. The rest of the plants I leave until a little bit later. You can see the little hostas down there. Not sure if they really liked it over here or not. We're still talking about putting in a pond. And you can see we painted the siding, and we will be continuing. Donnie's actually going to the big box store here soon to get some more siding. But we were able to put the first coat on, get the window trimmed out. Looks much better. Okay, so here's the oregano. Looks about the same as last time. And the sage. And my decorative grasses over here. And grasshoppers. Bane of my existence right now. They've been horrible this year. And our apple tree. Soon I'll be harvesting all of my herbs to dry for winter. Okay, walking out of the Japanese garden. And you can see my honeysuckle is doing really good. Some of the leaves are starting to turn for fall. They'll be dropping here pretty soon. And you can see the herb bed is still doing really good. Grasses. And here are some of the gladiola seeds I'm going to save. And my other gladiolas are starting to look a little sad. They'll probably be cut down here soon. Okay, now onto my garden bed. Now we just got done cleaning it up for fall. And we cut out a whole bunch of leaves so you can actually kind of see in here a little bit better. And I'm going to do a whole video on the huckleberries because I'm going to be harvesting real soon and making them into jelly. And the catnip has gone to seed too. Lots and lots of seeds. I'm going to have to save some of those too, see if I can't move the catnip plant. So now, I cut out a bunch of leaves, so now we can see the carrots. They're growing below them, and hopefully they'll get a little bit more sunlight. And my dahlia is even getting some buds on it again. I'm not sure about my fennel. All it's done is flower. It's not really bulbing up like I was hoping for. I'm not sure if I'm going to grow it next year or not. And of course the beets. Those are still doing good. But then the nasturtium. Look at those beautiful flowers. They really, really love this time of year. As soon as it cools off, the nasturtiums come back. And you can see that the huckleberry plants are flopping over everywhere. Donnie is going to build me some custom cages in the spring for them, so we will put that on the channel and you can see what he does. He's probably going to weld them. He took a welding class this last fall. And there's my perennial kale. Oh my goodness, see how far I have to back up to try to shoot that whole entire thing? It's huge! And of course they love the cool weather. And so do my collard greens. Look at these. They're much nicer looking leaves than they were when I showed them to you last. Look how big they are. They're beautiful. So they really like the weather. And Sebastian has been harvesting them to give them to Patsy's for dinner. And there is our Swiss chard plant. He's been harvesting a lot of that to give to Patsy for dinner. Patsy's our rabbit. And I just got done harvesting a bunch of seeds off of this Swiss chard that I let go to seed. And I want to try to move some of these kales further down the bed and fill up this bed a little bit more next year. Okay, now we're moving back to the pumpkin patch and squash plants. Spaghetti squash. Now you can see how much I have trimmed this up. You'll be seeing that in the video on Friday. And look at the pumpkin. It is orange. I am so excited. Our squash plant. And when I was trimming it up, I didn't even realize that we had a pumpkin plant up there, but we do. And now look at the nasturtiums. Ooh, look at that pretty, pretty orange color. That's beautiful. So they're really gonna like now having a little bit more sun and cooler weather. And our pumpkin vine is going all the way down there and is coming back around. And there is one little pumpkin. I don't know if it's gonna mature in time. We'll see. And this pumpkin vine, I had to move over here from over here It was just in the way. Okay. Now this tomatillo we had to trim back because it got so heavy that it broke, giving us a little bit more space in here. Plus we took out all of the sunflowers. And the last couple stakes in there holding up the other tomatillo plants at the other end. And you can see all the spoon tomatoes. Look at them all. They're everywhere. Plus a couple of the Bonnie's Best we still have on here. And we've been eating the black cherry tomatoes. They don't even make it in the house anymore. Okay. Now, coming around back behind the trellis. Look at that. I am very, very proud of that spaghetti squash. Here, let me put my hand up to it. Now you can see, look how big that is. It is huge. I don't think I've ever seen a spaghetti squash that big before, especially not in my garden. And then we've got another spaghetti squash and another pumpkin, and I've let them grow from the trellis over there to on top of my tomato and tomatillo trellis. And we still got some more tomatillos ripening on the plants. And I think I'm going to do this a little bit different next year because I really would like to be able to walk through the middle. You can see the paving stones a little bit better now that we've trimmed everything up. And I'm going to try doing something a little bit different with the tomatoes. I told you I let them go wild and just be tomatoes. But I think I want to try to train at least the Bonnie's Best. You don't do that with the cherry tomatoes or with the spoon tomatoes. You do let them go kind of crazy. But with the Bonnie's Best, I might move it because it's kind of gotten overtaken by the other ones, and try something a little bit different with it. And you can even see the tomatillos are all the way over here. Okay, so cucumbers, and they didn't get as big as I would like this year, and they just had a really, really hard start. So I want to try something different next year. One of the first years that I gardened in this new garden, I had covers over all of these plants, and they did so much better. So I've got to figure out some kind of cover for them. I don't know if we have any cucumbers on this one. We have an nasturtium coming through. And look at that. I've already harvested one of the Virtue Sweets. And look at the peach. That one looks like it's about ripe. And of course, more beautiful nasturtiums. And you can see that I took out the lettuce plant to save for seeds. And I still need to take this out. But there's another one over here. And they are about done. They're looking kind of sad. So we didn't get as many as I would like this year. So I'm definitely going to try something different next year because they are not tall at all. And I was kind of surprised. This side of the bed is the sunnier side. And they weren't shaded out by anything. And they just did not grow well. But here's some more of the nasturtiums. And you can see how beautiful they are this time of year. And the marigolds. And of course, look. Another grasshopper. Alright, and back up a little bit. There's our little watermelon. I am so excited because this is the second largest one in the garden. And I want to show you the Kajaris. Look. There is one. And there is two. So I'm really excited about that. We haven't had good luck with melons before. So this year is our first to get watermelons and other type of melons. And I'm really, really super excited. And there's the Cosmos. The volunteer one that came back from seed. Kind of mixed in with our dill plant. And you can tell that this area looks a lot different. And that's because we cut down all the dill and all of the flowers for the parsley. And we saved the seeds. Now I was trying to experiment and trying to grow radishes in here, but either a cat or the squirrels or somebody has been in here digging. And I only have one little sad radish. So next year I think I'm going to put them up on the deck so that they don't get bothered. And I suspect it was a cat. We have a lot of cats in our yard besides just Lola. So that's this end of the garden bed. And here I'll take you around to show you the other nasturtiums, which I swear these nasturtiums were red and now they're not. So, but look at that color in those. Those are absolutely beautiful. Very, very pretty. And now they're kind of a reddish yellow color. And there's some more of the orange. Very pretty. And then the volunteer plant. I do not know what this is, but we did have a bird feeder here, so it could have been that. If you guys happen to know what this plant is, let me know in the comments. Now here's our goji. Now this really looks like fall because it is turning yellow and losing all of its leaves and has goji berries on it. You'll see in Friday's video that I tried one. They're kind of weird tasting when they're fresh. And we still have some raspberries left. Just a few. And we've been trying to eat them quickly, but the wasps seem to have gotten to a couple of them too. And here are our pepper plants. As you can see, we've got a lot of green peppers on them. And some of them were starting to turn after we picked all those other ones. And Donnie said they are really hot. And he loves hot peppers. I have not tried one yet. After he said they were super hot. Oh, look, there's a yellow one in there. There. Oop. Hold on. There. And you can see the other ones. The eggplants have taken off. Look at all the flowers in there. They really, really like the cooler weather. And then you can see some of the other jalapenos in there too. And these ones, which are not Anaheims, are pretty big. And I'm not sure what they are. I'm going to have to look in my seed packets and see if I can figure it out. But they are getting so heavy that they're falling over even with their stakes. And you can actually kind of see the marigolds in there as well. There's some more. And I told you these chilies wouldn't do anything until later. They are just now, here if I could show you that, starting to get buds. So they're not going to produce this year. It is just too late in the season. I was hoping for something, but they're huge. And then, I think, yep, we've even got some eggplants on these ones. And they're getting some more flowers as well. My poor raspberries this year, though. They look sad. I am almost tempted to cut some of them down. But as you can see, the new growth is just fine, and they've got lots of raspberries on them. So I'm still debating that. I think maybe once I cut down the other ones for sure on the other side of the yard, then I'll make the decision if I'm going to cut those down or not. So some things have changed. Some things haven't. That's the biggest change, I think, is where we cut down so much stuff. And we picked the watermelon that was right there because it was rotting on the end. And by the way, it is delicious. I thought it would be a little bit underripe. It is just slightly underripe, but it's still really sweet. So I'm so excited that we can have melons from now on. So my plans for next year is I'm going to take out some of this parsley because this is a little bit too much. And I want to make sure that this end of the bed is free to grow melons. And that part where we have the trellis, I definitely want to change that up a little bit too, to see if I can't get like the melons to produce, or I should say the cucumbers. Well, I have some melons in there too to produce better, and redo the tomatoes a little bit as well. I'm definitely going to have to, unfortunately, not dig up this bed, but I'm going to dig some compost into it because it is just way too hard, and I think that's an issue. And we're going to replace all the bricks with blocks, try to give it a little bit more height so that I can get in some more compost. Now this area where the yellow bench is, and we're going to be refinishing it next year, I want to put, I am hoping very much, keeping my fingers crossed, that I can get a Birdie's Raised bed from Epic Gardening. I have been watching him and Self-Sufficient Me, Mark, with their Birdie's beds for years, and I want one. They're expensive, but I found one that I think I really, really want, and it would fit perfect right here. And I want to be able to do, since this area is so sunny, I want to be able to put in some more flowers, because this area right here is the only bed I have that will grow flowers that need full sun. Hence why the garden is in the backyard, is because this is the only area that gets full sun. So hopefully that will materialize next spring. So that's kind of a look around my yard. You can see all the leaves falling. We just mowed yesterday, so all the leaves that you see now fell last night and today. So let's go take a look on the deck now. Okay. I've got some petunias left, not many. The strawberries are starting to go to sleep. I'm going to cut down the mint too. But look at that. I moved this into the sun a little bit more, and I ended up getting beautiful roses off of it. Plus it cooled down a little bit. So that's where it's going to live permanently. It's going to stay there. Now over here, my cactus is going to be coming inside because it's really technically a house plant. And then this one is just done flowering. And the rest of them are kind of looking a little sad for this time of the year. It's because it's getting cold. These petunias are still going. I don't think I'm going to get any more flowers. But these guys started to come back when it cooled off. Look at how pretty those are. And same thing with these guys. They started to come back once it cooled off. You can even see that these ones are flowering too. These planters down here, even though I cut them back, they've almost had it. They're about done. And my geranium never did flower again, but my Celosas did. And they are beautiful. And my houseplants coming inside tonight, because it's getting down into the 40s and they are not going to survive if it gets much colder than that. So there's that. And there's Lola. Lola, kitty, 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 kitty. Here's the happy gardening cat on her chair. Yes, taking a bath. And that ends us back at this bed. You can kind of see the other side. And that ends our gardening tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this late September garden tour. I will be doing another one in a month, and that will be right around Halloween. So most of our leaves and our trees will be done. So it'll look a lot different. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That stuff really, really helps our channel grow. And I appreciate each and every one of you watching our videos and liking them. Don't forget to comment. Tell me what your garden looks like this time of the year. Happy gardening!